And thanks.
Yeah, good night, everybody.
Thank you
Good
very
night.
much.
See you all again, or hear you all again.
Yes, looking forward to it.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Noreen. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Pony. And thank you, Dude Guy. Thank you, all the listeners out there. And keep listening. We got Rectify and Joaquin coming up.
Oh, great.
With a good show of their own. And with the Gray Zone, we call it. So stick around for that. And thanks for listening. Love you all. Take care now.
Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio.
We're an anarcho-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week. Yes. But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting. Yes, I see. By a simple majority in the case of purely internal affairs. Be quiet. But by a two-thirds majority in the case of more... Be quiet. I order you to be quiet. Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left. Yes, I have. Look! It's just a flesh wound.
I don't believe I've seen such a display of courage, skill, nerve, grace, and stupidity.
I'll do you for that. Oh, what? Come here. What are you going to do, bleed on me? I'm invincible. You're a loony. The Black Knight always triumphs.
Roundtable Live Monday through Friday, 1 a.m. till 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Bring your mind, bring your ideas, bring your voice. King Arthur had nothing on us. Here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com.
Should mute.
Is your data safe? Do you have the necessary information to assist you in confidently living through just about any survival situation? Is survival and gardening, off-grid living, medical knowledge, or even natural or man-made EMPs on your list of personal concerns? Do you have your documents and your personal information in a safe place in your hands where you know where it is? Well, check out our preloaded EMP-proof thumb drive. Over 3 gigs of survival documents and how-tos, plus the USDA offline food preservation website, and much, much more, including a surprise bonus we just can't tell you about here. With plenty of room left over to store your most important documents. Imagine if a megavirus or a computer failure took out your bank, or all the banks for that matter. Are your banking records safe in your hands? So when they get things fixed and repaired, you can say, hey, look, this is what I had. You have it. I want it back. Is your personal data safe? Family records, addresses, phone numbers? Well, squeeze on over to freedomslips.com. Yes, that's www.freedomslips.com. Click the banner on the homepage for the EMP-proof bullet drive to get the full scoop of everything that we offer. So, folks, keep your data safe for your peace of mind. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here.
Would be me, Wild Bill Samsel, your host of the Samsel Report. Join me for Wild Bill's Headline Roundup every Saturday night, right here on Revolution Radio.
Thank you for tuning in to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. If you plan to call in and speak with one of our hosts, please turn down your radio and separate yourself from any background noise and wait for the area code to be called on before you speak. And don't forget, Revolution Radio freedomslips.com is listener supported. So stop by the homepage, freedomslips.com, visit the site support area to help support the host you're listening to's airtime. Thank you. Revolution Radio freedomslips.com, where the truth never sleeps.
We're an anarcho-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week. Yes. But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting. Yes, I see. By a simple majority in the case of purely internal affairs. Be quiet. But by a 2/3 majority in the case of more... Be quiet. I order you to be quiet. Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left. Yes, I have. Look! Just a flesh wound.
I don't believe I've seen such a display of courage, skill, nerve, grace, stupidity.
I'll do you for that. Oh, what? Come here. What are you going to do, bleed on me? I'm invincible. You're a loony. The Black Knight always triumphs.
Welcome one, welcome all, and it is that time for Roundtable Live here at Revolution Radio freedomslips.com. Be rolling on till 4 a.m. in the morning Eastern time. New ideas, different hosts every night, different subjects every night. You never know what's going to happen right here at the Roundtable Live. King Arthur has nothing on us. We're going round and round.
East Coast of Bronx County, New York, to the West Coast of Orange County, California. From the Pacific perspective to the Atlantic perspective. From liberal craziness to conservative idealism. From Christianity to atheism belief systems. Welcome to the Gray Zone Roundtable with your hosts, Rectify and Luki at Revolution Radio. freedomslips.com.
All right. What is going on, good people of Revolution Radio? Happy Monday or Tuesday, wherever you're at. This is Rectify.
And this is Joaquin.
Welcome to the Gray Zone.
What up, listeners? Thank you for the awesome show, Nick, and the introduction. We appreciate that, brother. Appreciate you a lot.
We love the props. We get props back, man. Good show, good roundtable, you and all your guests.
Absolutely.
This is another roundtable. We like to invite anybody to call in. We throw the mic around here. You can be in the gray zone, or you can be on the left side or the right side. We don't care. Our number here is 347-688-2902. That's, again, 347-688-2902. We're also joined by a good friend of ours here at the station, Chipmunk. What's up, girl?
Hi, Rectify. Hi, Joaquin.
What up, Chipster?
Yeah, tonight we're going to get into some craziness like we always do. It's always fun here. The Gray Zone. You want to bring up the topic that we didn't get into tonight, Joaquin?
Yeah, things that people do that piss you off.
Right. That's the one.
Man, this is long and distinguished, well, let me not go there, but, yeah.
Yeah, we don't 4 hours, but we'll
like a 4-hour show, man. That right there is like a 4, 5, 6 hour show, dude. I doubt we get through the whole thing, but it is what it is.
First thing that pisses me off is internet trolls. One thing I've learned doing this radio biz thing, internet trolls. But yeah.
Don't troll!
Are they government thugs? Are they hired? Do they get paid per click or per piss off? You know, what are these people? Are they just kids in the basement, 12 years old, trying to?
It's funny you mentioned that, Rectify, because I was listening to AJ, you know, Mr. I go on rants himself, Alex Jones.
Absolutely.
And he had made mention of trolls, and he said that they actually get paid $85 an hour to do it. And I'm kind of thinking I'm in the wrong business, you know, because to be on the internet all day long and actually look up or go look for you know, themes and topics that actually make sense or labeled as truth, and to just, you know, belittle them or not debunk them just for the sake of being a troll and getting paid almost $100 an hour to do so, man. I think we're doing something wrong here, man. You know, because I'd rather be doing that. So yeah, they actually do get paid. I heard him say something to that extent.
Oh, I was muted. Look at me. I'm a rookie still. Still green. Yeah, big old AJ. He's a monster on the radio. I'll give you that.
He's a shell. Let me not go there.
Yeah, I stopped listening to him a long time ago.
Go ahead.
I don't know, the screaming just got annoying after a while.
Absolutely.
You know, he's funny. He's a character. He makes me laugh. I don't know about y'all, but I you know, when I listen to him, I actually crack up because he has guests on. He goes, "Yeah, my next guest is gonna be this person," and next, you know, the guest only has like, the guest will be on his show for about like 20 minutes. And the guest only speaks about like 90 seconds.
Yep. Throw in about 12 minutes of commercials in there too.
I think the last time I saw him, he ended up on The View with all those ladies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like what the heck is he doing on The View? I don't know. And then the only thing he did was pretty much just talk about his show, and then he was just at the end like, Infowars.com.
So Alex Jones pisses us off. What's next on the list, Chippy?
What's next on the list? Well, you know what? People who have jobs, they go to their job and they hate their job, and it shows. Like, say you go and, you know, order a sandwich somewhere, and the person's just like, what? What do you want?
Right. It's like,
people don't appreciate their work. You know?
I'm here to pay you, stupid. You're going to get paid because of my, you know, request of your services. Basically, you wouldn't have a job if it wasn't
someone else out there that could do their job, you know, and put a smile on their face, at least, you know.
Right.
That brings up all the people who are jobless and who would actually do anything to have that job. A lot of people don't, you know, they don't appreciate what they have, really. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I agree 100%.
Yeah, I see that a lot. You know, you go to a place and someone will give you an attitude for nothing just because you walked in the door. I don't know.
You're buzzing a little there, Joaquin.
Am I?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but yeah, check your cables. That pisses me off.
Bad reception, you know what? That is something that really pisses me off. You're on a call and it just cuts out. You're just talking to yourself for a while.
Hey, let me know if I'm still okay, am I?
Yeah, that sounds better now.
Alright, good. Yeah, that pisses me off too. So
another thing that pisses me off is bad parenting. You know, we're talking about going out and getting bad service from a restaurant or something, but how about parents that have their kids just yapping or crying and screaming, maybe in a theater even, or yeah, you're buzzing again, buddy.
I am?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To go along with that, Rectify, it's like, I don't know, unwanted parenting advice bugs the crap out of me.
Unwanted parenting advice. See, I'm not one to give advice on parenting because I am childless. But
I've gotten a lot of crap because I've put my daughter in public school, and I don't know.
Who gives you crap for that? Just
I'm not going to say.
The truth movement?
Maybe.
I think that pisses me off also when people actually want to give their opinion when it's not even asked of them.
Yeah.
That pisses me off.
Well, that too, and I didn't vaccinate my daughter, and I got a lot of crap for that.
You know what I think, Joaquin? You know, I think I don't give a rat's butt about what you think. You know, and I try to be nice about it sometimes, but I'm looking at them and I'm nodding my head, and inside I'm have Tourette's, and I'm like, bah, 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 bah.
You got Tourette's.
I think we all do, Joaquin. I'm guilty.
I'm guilty. Yeah, but you got to keep it inside, especially on the air. You can't let the Tourette's flow to the airwaves.
I wear my emotional sleeve, man. You know, if the FCC wasn't listening to right now, I think you guys know me off air, so.
Oh yeah, plus you're from the Bronx. I mean, come on, we all expect it. So how's your guys' Saturnalias?
My Saturday?
Ladies first.
I mean Christmas, I guess.
Oh, I could pretty much spent it at home alone. My daughter went with her dad to the Bay Area. So, I don't know, it was a quiet night.
Right on. I went and saw family on Christmas Eve. It's funny because we only seem to do it once a year. We don't really call each other much anymore, or you know.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of family. I have family in the Bay Area, but I don't talk to them. And I have family in Montreal that I barely know.
Right.
I haven't met them. So.
How many cousins and uncles and aunts? How big is your family?
Freaking huge. And I'm not waiting.
How huge is huge?
Okay, that pisses me off.
What, the echo? Did you hear the echo? Or was it just on my end?
Will just drop, and that never happens, especially when I'm on with Rectify. That usually happens when I'm on Studio A, when they carry me into a conversation. But when I'm with Rectify, that actually never ever happens.
It's Wingman's fault. He's joined us right as you dropped. What's up, Wingman?
Yeah,
this is you off,
what's up,
man.
guys. Wow, so much, man, so much. Where do I start? Okay, parking tickets. That parking ticket is like, parking ticket is just like throwing $20, $50 down the toilet. It's just like you see it going off on the wind. It's like, you know, I challenge them. I always find something to challenge a parking ticket, but it's just one of those things. You get a parking ticket and it's like, feels so wrong. You feel so wrong. You know, it's like, this ain't
worth
right,
challenging,
man.
though, because half the time you can get off. You can, you know, get away with not paying.
You pay taxes for you pay tax in your gasoline. We pay road tax over here, which is you got to get disc on your car to drive on the roads, and on your tolls you pay it. You pay tax on the tires that you put on your car,
registration, the driver's license,
and then they hit you again
insurance.
with tax from where you park your car. It's like you can have a car, you can buy a car, we'll tax you on the car, and then we'll tax you when you stop in the car.
And we still own it too. It's not yours.
Okay, so for Wingman, it's the expense of driving.
He sounds like he parks on a lot of handicapped parking spots. What's up with all
Come on, if everyone stopped driving their cars at the same time, half of those people would get parking tickets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Wingman, how much is a parking ticket over there in the UK, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I got one the other day. It was $50, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing over here, $55.
You know you can get a DUI on a bicycle or like a skateboard, because I've heard of that happening.
You could even get one on a horse.
Sweetie, over here nowadays you could get a ticket for walking and texting. So it's just pretty bad.
Don't walk and text, kids.
It's getting bad over here in the United States. You know,
someone almost walked into me doing that.
All right, next on the list. How about ghetto habits? You know, people that are just absolutely ghetto.
What are you trying to say, Rectify?
People of Walmart, man. I didn't say anything about New York.
Well, you just... I love my grape soda. Shut up. I'm kidding.
It's called purple soda.
It's called purple drink. Drink, okay?
Yeah, I gotta check the corrupt cops one off my list because Wingman hit that one up.
I got another one. You know when you're in company that's a little bit, you know, you're not kind of gelling with them, and you find yourself forcibly laughing when they might say something that they think is funny. And I hate finding myself forcibly laughing, but I feel compelled to do it sometimes.
It's always good to laugh. Always good. I don't ever see unless it's somebody with Down syndrome in front of you and you're laughing at them for that. That's,
No, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. When someone says something funny to you and you feel, you might not find it funny and yet you feel pressured into laughing.
Oh, I gotcha. It's like a comfort laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. But you really don't. You just want to sit there with a long face and not react at all,
That brings me to another one. When people say yes in agreement with you, but they're shaking their head no.
Oh, I never get that. Yeah. Says he's shaking his head.
Well, like I said earlier, I wear my emotion on my sleeve. So, if I don't find something funny, I'm not gonna laugh at it. And who's gonna feel uncomfortable is the other person. Because I'll just look at them like they're retarded. And just continue to stare at him like, was that supposed to be funny?
You New Yorkers, though, man. You really, your emotion on your sleeve, that's hard to find, man. In New York, really, you're one of a kind, brother.
I'm very blunt, man. Like, it is what it is with me. There's no in between, honestly. It's black or white, Well, we're in the gray zone, but, I understand that, but, there's no in between with me. I'm a Libra, man, so there's really no in between.
It's easy.
Yes.
Good song.
And on the same topic, right? Here's another one, right? Canned laughter. Oh, it does my head in. You get comedy, right? I know when to laugh. Don't tell me when to laugh. I know when to laugh. What's with the canned laughter?
Yeah, dry humor. That goes on over in your part of the world, really, and a lot of dry humor over there in England.
Canned laughter is an American.
I don't get you guys in the UK, man. You guys think sarcasm is humorous, and I actually think it's disrespectful. There's always a time for sarcasm, but you guys do it all the time and consider it think it's funny. And sometimes it's not funny. Sometimes you just want to grab somebody by the neck and be like, "What the hell did you just say?" Because I have a friend from the UK, and I don't know when he's playing. I really don't know when he's joking around because he doesn't smile when he says something sarcastic. He just says it. So you look at him. And then he'll look at you and throw you this really this look, I was just playing, and I'm like, and I'll smile back okay, thank you for letting me know you were just playing because I was about to just go ham on you.
Yeah, so the pauses are important in sarcasm, you see, and the straight face. You got to keep a straight face, definitely. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, another thing that pisses me off is fat people telling me smoking is bad for me. I tell them obesity kills more.
I tell you what, right?
I could go there, but I'm not going to.
We could talk about plane seats as well. Seats, bus seats, plane seats. It's a problem, man. It's like, dude, I can't breathe because I'm quite wide-chested, yeah. And it's like, this ain't right. I don't know, man.
Oh, we've been joined by Jer Bear.
Good evening, guys. What's happening?
We want to know what pisses you off, man. What do people do that pisses you off, Jer?
Makes me upset.
Right.
I'll have to think. Give me a moment on that one. I don't get pissed too much.
I would love to live in your world, dude.
I don't have.
Pisses me off.
How about getting on the freeway?
I have no issues.
Okay, merging people that don't know how to merge with traffic, or how about
I just smile. I just smile and say, "Help yourself."
Well,
Jebba, you just out of interest, you suffering from radiation sickness?
No, I don't think so.
You sure? Because you look highly
blue,
radioactive in that picture you always make.
Oh, that's just a picture. That's not Jer Bear.
Oh, okay.
That could be Joaquin looking out the window.
You're looking kind of like Smurfish, man.
Yeah, Papa Smurf, how you doing?
Whatever you're feeling like doing, you can't piss me off. Have a nice day.
And for all the callers that can't see, basically he's wearing a tie-dye shirt over his face, but it's not a shirt; it's the color of his skin.
I look like I'm in a black light. Huh?
It looks like a bad rash as well.
Hey,
right.
Serious.
It's just.
Get that scene to Jer Bear.
Pardon?
Get that scene to. It looks like you got.
I just messed with my camera with No, it was something on the net, cam software. So I just caught a picture of me in that, whatever that was called. I don't know. I call it like black light. Over.
How about our president? Does he piss you off? He pisses me
No,
off.
he makes me smile. He's such a great guy.
I've got a whole long list of all the lies in front of me.
You don't make me mad. I think we should be more upset with the idea that we as Americans have let them get away with this too long, and it's time to change it.
How do we go about doing so?
Small pockets in your community.
Hanging chads?
No, small pockets of forming a bona fide legal militia in your community that you can take your issues to them, and they present it, and they become chapters, and we become strong, and we present this to. We take all of these chapters as grassroots chapters. We form a union, and we present these issues to the Congress. So we have the people standing behind. And we become the new lobbyists that are behind all these politicians in Washington now, the bureaucrats and the lobbyists. They're the ones that are changing all the laws. They're the ones that are making corporate America the way it is. We don't have nobody with money. We're not the ones with the money.
You're sounding like a bit like Alex Jones right now.
Well,
absolutely.
You're sounding.
I'm trying to sound like
Alex Jones. And I'm going to be honest. I think that's what they want you to do. Because for me, Jabber, I think Alex Jones is a show, and I'm not saying that his information is off. His information is completely 100% accurate most of the time. You know, it's you know what he says is true. It could be validated, but I think that's the whole point. The whole point is they allow him to say that, so that way we can separate the wheat from the tares and see who's going to rebel or who wants to have a voice. Or who wants to go out there and and start a revolution? So that they can round these people up and throw them in FEMA camps.
So I follow you, but if all of us in our communities, we start organizing with our community like a neighborhood watch, but we get with our community that we want to form a militia that governs, that was created on the Second Amendment, and each of our communities establish these chapters, and we form into just like they do, the Republicans have their convention, we have our convention, and we become a part of the government that's actually in the Constitution. That's what's missing right now. So these lobbyists and bureaucrats are put right behind these politicians, feeding their pockets with what laws they want and how they're puppets. So we have to become the master of that as people again. We have to have chapters and form our militias, which is governed under the Second Amendment.
You know, Jerry, the only way I can see anything happening is if everybody in this country, at least the majority, stopped using corporations in their daily life. It has to start there because they are the lobbyists of all these politicians.
That's not going to do nothing. If we don't form these pockets that's still not going to do nothing. If we don't form our community grassroots militias, our organizations, if we're not organized, we ain't poop. So if each community would organize a militia, which is under the Constitution, Second Amendment, and it can't be changed. They formicate it and ratify it and do all kinds of stuff to manipulate it. But if we have enough people, they can't, across this nation, we're the new bounce.
I got you. I mean, that makes sense why they demonized the whole Trayvon Martin thing, too. I mean, that was a whole neighborhood watch issue. So.
That was, that became racial. That's bullshit. Obama said, "I will give my boy." So that's bullshit. All that's crap.
Gotta watch the language, brother.
Well, I'm saying that's BS. And it was racial, and that's just brought up to divide the nation instead of bring it together. And that's not what we're about.
All right, but Jeffrey, don't you think that 45 days after 9/11, when the Patriot Act was signed by Congress and passed, that we gave up all our rights to the Constitution pretty much? So when you talk about forming militia pockets, they actually call them terrorist cells now.
No, it's not. It's terrorist cell. It's in the Second Amendment.
According to the government,
Well,
is
that,
labeled
and it says also that any rules and laws that have obscured the Constitution is not legal. It's not legit.
But the American people, they're fed all these lies that we call like the Patriot Act or the NDAA.
Oh yeah, the Patriot Act sucks.
All of it, man. It supersedes the mentality of the mainstream that the Constitution can never be overwritten like it has been. So
It has.
yeah, they don't give it any thought.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
On mainstream is what they suck up.
But
Right, and that goes back to the initial topic. People, like what pisses us off, it's the inability of people to see or hear the truth when it's just laid out right in front of us.
Right.
What I'm saying is, if we would stress on this platform the Second Amendment, small communities, your community, a grassroots event, not blogging everybody, but get our neighbors and our community into understanding what a militia is and what it was designed for, to the tyranny that's going on now, we can make miracles happen.
Well, people don't even want to fill a pot with soil and throw a couple seeds in it. I mean, that's what I do to try to inspire.
You can't say that.
humanity.
There's probably a lot of people that are involved now. That's a good thing. So you got to keep it positive. I think if we just organize. Vibes was just talking about it earlier, and when I brought it up, and she says, "Well, Jeremy, and you're the only ones that talk about that kind of a system." And she said, "Get with Tom Gilroy, which is Kat's brother, that he hasn't been around for a while, but he has some documentation on how to do that." Now, sure, we might sound a little crazy going up our neighbors. Hey, listen, I have some pretty good neighbors. I live in a mixed a neighborhood with Cambodians, all kinds of nationalities live right in my hood, and we're all homeowners. I'm still a homeowner.
Just go knock. You can get the seed pack. We got the 35,000 seed pack here at Revolution Radio for $100 donation. And you can split that up and put it in little gram baggies and knock on your neighbors' doors and say, "Hey, check it out. Here you go. Nice to meet you. Here's some seeds."
There is a couple of my neighbors that started growing they're putting raised beds in their front yard and happening. And one of them put a rooster in their backyard. And one day I come walking out to go walk my dog in the city. There was a city truck there.
Now, why would you choose a rooster over a hen?
Right. You'd want eggs.
I have hens back there in the hen house, but I seen the rooster get out. But going up my road, and I saw this city truck there. He goes, "Hey, what's happening?" He goes, "Have you heard any rooster around here?" Because I wanted to talk to him about the feral cats that were running around sneaking up my house. And he goes, "Have you heard a rooster or anything around here?" I go, "No." And he goes, "From this house right here?" "No." But I said, "Up the street, I hear like some doves." Anyway, he split, and a few days later, I saw my buddy, my neighbor, and he had his red rooster out there. So roosters are good for chickens are good for fertilizing your yard, But go ahead. But my neighbors
will wake you up at 5 a.m. and that's pretty annoying.
I never heard it. I never hear it.
Yeah, roosters piss me off too, Joaquin.
I live in Puerto Rico.
Hey,
can I just respond to what Jer Bear said?
Over.
Not the rooster thing. Before that, I think if you're going to use the term, I think working from the ground roots in terms of protecting your environment and your immediate environment, your neighbourhood, etc., works well because one of the problems is the threat of persecution. You see, from whether it be the police or bailiffs or law enforcers, etc., etc. Because sometimes the enforcement aspect of it is immoral, or is tied behind immorality or immoral mechanisms. So it's good to try and protect that. And I think there's something called Schaefer Cox in Fairbanks, Alaska, who tried to develop the same thing. He was actually had for attempted murder of a judge or something, conspiracy to murder a judge, which is probably totally trumped up. But he talked about this common, I think he called it the Liberty Bell system or something, whereby you start on the ground result and you have a mechanism to, if for example you're stopped by a cop, you can text a certain number, and everyone in your neighborhood who's available suddenly comes to your location to protect you from any violation of your rights. So I think that's a great idea. I think that if you're going to use the terminology militia, though, you're going to run into problems. It's probably best to come up with another terminology of, I don't know, like guardians, stronghold guardians, neighborhood watch, call it whatever. If you're going to use the term militia, you're going to come up against problems.
It's called.
I know. I'm not saying it's not in the Constitution. I'm just saying you're going to have more problems using the word "we're a militia." You're going to raise eyebrows.
You don't put that right in the person's
No,
face.
exactly.
You present what we're about and how we've got to become a community and what rights that we have in the Constitution that we need to reestablish, and that's part of a militia.
You know what would be nice to see is actually using some principles that work in the corporate world to push forward moral principles and moral organizational aspects that would facilitate what you're talking about, would facilitate the neighborhood stronghold to protect each other from violations, corporate violations, essentially is what I'm saying. I remember one example where some smart meter guy went into this property and the owner was saying, or whoever was renting the property said, I don't want a smart meter, get off my property. And he was, no, we have to install it. And there was a policeman there. And he was trespassing. She was telling him, get off my property, I don't want a smart meter. You know, you've seen that. I mean, that's an example where you would call the neighborhood watch number and everyone would come there and say, no, get off this property, you're not allowed on here.
Hey,
you know?
they came to my house many times and I always opted out. They persisted, they called, I opted out. The police never came to my house and I don't have a smart meter. So that could be propaganda. Okay. How's that? Over?
Yeah, it could be. But I was just going to say, you know, it would be nice to see certain aspects that work in the corporate world in terms of selling ideas to people, canvassed in the real world, you know?
You know, Wingman, I just saw a commercial for BP Oil Company showing that, we had this spill, but we put all these people to work, and we've learned from this mistake, and we're making the Gulf better. That's all bullshit.
Yeah, watch the language, buddy.
BS.
BS.
I didn't say no F word.
I know, but the S one is not allowed either.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think what we need to overcome is the complacency side of things. I mean,
tell the truth. They're not telling the truth. They're telling us. They're just giving us a BS, and that's why we need community-sponsored chapters called a militia. It's in the Second Amendment, and that's what it was designed for.
Well, I guess you could say that Revolution Radio is a terrorist cell then, right? If it goes.
No, we're not a terrorist cell. We are for the people.
I mean, if you're going by.
I want to push that. We are not a terrorist cell.
I know. I'm saying in the eyes of the people that write these things that overwrite our Constitution, like the Patriot Act.
And those are the lobbyists and bureaucrats. If you can get enough people to go and represent our communities that we could afford to pay from your community and everybody's community that's on here now and more, and put them behind these lobbyists, we could kick ass too.
Right.
Oh, there is one problem with that, Jeb. If you're getting behind the lobbyists, or if you're trying to appeal to congressmen,
you're standing in there with them, watching their moves.
But then they might as well not be there. The whole point is you don't want the system is outdated and inferior. So by appealing, you want to avoid appealing to anybody really to do something for or on your behalf, because that's like a form of begging. That's like, you know,
things are done under the table outside of court.
It's already done though. We got to move forward.
That's right. So if we had a staff that covered each of our senators and our representatives, like I had a team that worked on I don't know how much reps. I got 2 senators. If I had a team that watched these 2 boys and their staff, and you guys had each state watching who's these lobbyists are feeding these guys for their bills, that'd be a big help right there. Because we'd be seeing these guys being paid off without the courts. That's one way of moving in. But that's where the change is, because that's where the little clique is. And we don't have nobody in that clique to protect the people. And all they're doing is covering the corporation, which is the entity just like us as people. Over.
I mean, actually, I was just about to say, by doing that, you're still propping up the current system and you're still kind of begging in a way. But actually, there is another part to it, and that is if you've got groups of people that can be bothered to shadow and walk, go everywhere with it, where these guys go and say, look, we're going to make your life hell unless you introduce this law, or we're going to make your life hell unless you introduce this bill, you might as well do it, and because, but no, that wouldn't be policeable. They wouldn't be able to police every senator, every lawmaker. They wouldn't be able to police them to avoid the confrontation that you could, create by. They wouldn't be able to do that. So if you had groups of people saying, Senator, we suggest you do this, and then you have 2 people that come along the next day and say, Senator, we suggest you do this. They go to a restaurant, 3 people come along. Senator, you really should sign this bill. It's for the people. And then if they still don't, 4 people everywhere they go shopping. 4 people making their life difficult. So that they eventually, until they affect a law for the benefit of the people, they can't go anywhere. Now that's still would be with it lawful. You wouldn't still get in trouble,
Right,
but it would make their life difficult.
Things people do that piss you off, other than politicians, because I think politicians are just ugly actors, too ugly for Hollywood. But breaking news out of China here, it's from the Associated Press. Chinese doctor admits she stole babies from the hospital where she worked and sold them to human traffickers. That pisses me off.
Yeah, but this has been going on forever, man. I mean, she got caught, but this has been going on forever, though, Rectify.
Long time, yeah.
What do you think's going on with the human trafficking? Is it all being sold in like a sex slavery type of deal?
All of the above.
It's like cars and chop shops. I'm sorry, go ahead, Chippy.
No, I just said it's probably all of the above. It's just the worst that you could imagine is probably happening.
Like sacrifice and all that?
All of it.
Well, not so much that. Well, yeah, that too, but a lot of it has to do with parts. It's like a car. You steal a car, and
you mean
get
like
more
the liver and the
chocolate
heart and the lungs and that type of deal?
Absolutely. There are people who need kidneys. There's people who need a lung transplant. There's people who need a heart transplant. And you get more of from a person. When you chop them up.
So do you think that these predators actually go out and do blood tests to find out which blood types match their customers' needs?
Well, I'm probably more than positive that it really doesn't matter. I mean, you snatch a kid up and somebody's gonna match their blood type and gonna need something from that certain person.
Sick world, guys. Sick world.
Absolutely.
I think the problem is that why do these things how do they manage to get away with it? And that worries me. People must know about other people that do these things in those circles. And it's like there's a secret, there's a quietness, no one talks a lot of the time about these things, and it's like, what is the mechanism that's allowing that sinister aspect to continue? And how do you turn that around so that people are encouraged to speak out when they see corruption? People are encouraged to speak out when they see injustice and people being persecuted.
Well, how the saying goes. The love of money is the root of all evil. A lot of people get that whole saying wrong. They say money is the root of all evil. No, it's not, because we obviously all need money. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. And when you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, invested in children or abductions and whatnot, you're going to keep quiet, dude. If that money's coming in, you're going to keep quiet. You're going to keep quiet.
And they say that, it's the quiet ones you got to watch out for. I mean, if someone's doing something to a child, they're not going to go flat out and tell you. You don't know what your neighbors are doing. You really don't know what your neighbors are doing.
So how do you
brings us back to what Jerbear was saying? We need more community, more localized community. We should know what our neighbors are doing. We should be out barbecuing in the streets, setting up temporary volleyball court nets and playing. So that's how I grew up, at least.
So you guys are all for police state, eyes in the sky, drones watching us, because that's the only way we're gonna have, we're gonna actually calm this thing down.
It doesn't matter if you're all for it; it's already happening.
I understand that, Chippy, but you see what I'm saying?
No, we don't need all that, because we're not the terrorists. They're putting us as the terrorists. They're creating all that fear. We don't need all that.
I didn't say we didn't need it. It's already happening.
We need to point the cameras at them. I'd like to introduce. I love your enthusiasm, but that's definitely not gonna happen, dude. Well, yeah, because you're negative about it. You got to be. You're negative. Can I introduce you?
That's pretty much. I'm being a realist. I mean, that's like saying let's let man judge God.
Consciousness helps. Can I introduce my a host that I produce for and co-host with, Eric Blood? Are you there, Eric? Over?
I don't know. Am I?
Eric, what's going on, brother?
What's happening?
I think the last time we spoke, we was talking about the JFK assassination and how the whole secret space program was involved. This was a couple of months back. I don't know if you remember.
I do.
Eric,
Okay.
wiggle
How
your
have you
kids. You got a buzz.
Yeah, I know. I got to mute out when I'm not talking. Is it better when I mute out?
Yeah, it is. Give us what pisses you off in people. That's the topic of the night, sir.
The thing that makes me angry about people
Right.
is everybody's walking around afraid of each other and afraid of everything, and everybody's walking around dumb because they don't want to know. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. I could go up and say something to somebody that's political, and I go, "Oh, I'm not political," or I could mention something spiritual. "Oh, I'm not spiritual." And that's if I can even approach them, because I look people in the eye and they look at the ground and they keep walking and they don't want to look at me and they don't want to talk to me and they don't want to talk to each other and they just want to bury their fucking head into a goddamn iPhone.
Oh, whoa, Mr. Blood.
What's up?
The language, brother.
Gotta let you go on that one. Wasn't me, Hawk. It wasn't me, Hawk.
Wait, is it not okay after 9 o'clock? I thought after.
We're not supposed to be using any
Eric,
English.
we're live. No F-bombs, no. Keep it simple, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was a private deal.
No, brother, we're on air.
All right, I'm gonna whip her after the show for that.
Okay, my apologies. My apologies. Sorry.
I get why you did swear then, because it is frustrating, and people, it's what do you do about it? But someone mentioned, the local community side of things, and I think that has a big bearing on things. Because if you look at, your corporate spaces like your Walmarts, and no one talks to each other. There's no reason to talk to other people there. And everyone's doing their own thing. Whereas if you've got that local economy, and incidentally, a local economy is much healthier for the local economy. You find nearly half of the revenue goes back into the local economy compared to something like 15% in a corporate structure. There's reason to talk to your fellow man. Then there's reason to talk to. You've got market stores and local groceries, and meats are being sold, etc., etc. If that started to develop, your local market scenario. And then you take away like Rectify was saying, the corporate power and the corporate stronghold. You don't give to the corporations anymore. Give locally. And if you notice, that's been under attack for so long. Your small traders have been under attack for so long by the monopoly side of things. And I think that's part of the corporate manifesto, if you like. So
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I just want to go watch American Idol and go to McDonald's.
And plant your nose in your smartphone, right?
Eric, I want to touch up on what Eric was talking about, because a couple of days back I was in the chat room and I was getting pretty much attacked from all angles, because I'm one that supports the New World Order. And somebody had brought up the a point that it's not the people's fault because the water's fluoridated, because we're getting sprayed with chemtrails and we're being dumbed out. I actually do believe it's the people's fault, because the information is out there to actually, to do something about it. I mean, if there's fluoride in tap water, why are you still drinking tap water? If you know that there's GMO foods, why are you not going organic? It's educating yourself, is the first step on actually conquering what's actually going on out there. And so I do blame the people for dumbing themselves out. And then people take the whole concept of chemtrails, and I kind of laugh at that, because it's not like chemtrails, single out certain people. Chemtrails are being sprayed, and it's affecting everybody. Not just civilians and not politicians. You see what I'm getting at? So when people are like, oh, they're dumbing us out, what do you think? It's not affecting them neither? I mean,
you should see the wait. You should see the county board of supervisors here upon the land. Excuse me. I guess it's Bohemian Grove County, not Sonoma County. We go to the board of supervisors. We go to the city council. We show them graphs. We show them proof. We show them photographs of the sky with just, there's just chemtrails everywhere. And then we show them the, evidence from aerosol crimes of tell them all the crap that's in the chemtrails. And they just sit there like giggling and shifting in their seats and smiling like it's all a big joke.
Right. Yeah. I agree with you. So I actually blame the people. I blame ourselves.
Well,
because
PM, I agree with you there
about it.
With the water and the organic foods, because I've been health conscious for a long time, and I try to eat as much organic as possible. I don't drink the tap water, but in order to do that, it costs a little bit extra, and to find clean organic food and water, it's going to cost you more, and not everyone, can fit that in their budget. I'm just saying. I mean, it's like even though I do so, it's costing me a lot. It's costing me extra. It really is, and that's kind of unfair.
There's a situation recently. My friend and I were looking for apartments over in Rincon Valley. It's a more well-to-do neighborhood with some nice apartment complexes. And we're walking up the street, and there's this school, and all the kids are getting out. I'm walking up the block, and I'm talking to the children. Excuse me, I called them kids. That's baby goats. I'm talking to the children. I'm telling all these children, I stop a group of children. I go, hey, do you know why it takes 12 years for school, to graduate? No, why? They're inquisitive. They're, oh, really? Why? That's interesting. Yeah, why? So I tell them, I said, it takes 12 years for your mind to accept the programming, but it doesn't work on everybody. So I just give them a brief little synopsis and tell them, think for yourself. Well, some dad hears me saying this to the kids, children, and he stops me halfway up the block in his black, wannabe Hummer SUV New World Order CIA truck, and starts yelling at me. So I put my hands together like a monk, and I said, sir, don't you want your child to think for themselves? And he goes, no! That was not the answer I was expecting. He screamed, and my friend was there to hear the whole thing, so I have a witness, okay? This guy goes, no! He has to do what the teachers tell him, and he has to do what the police tell him. You know what? I'm going to call the police. And he's going to call the cops on me, so I just told him I hope that all the good things that can happen to a human being on the planet can happen to him and his family, and have a nice day. And he's screaming and yelling. After I said that, he got even more mad.
All right,
that's programming, Eric. That's programming.
956, things that piss you off that people do. Welcome, and what do you want to be called?
Who, me?
956, you're on the air. Area code.
Area code 956, you're on air.
Not a murmur.
All right. Never mind.
Hey, guys.
Huh?
I know you're talking about piss me off, but it doesn't have to be that entirely, does it? Because I want to present a very serious
R3
hypothetical solution.
R3,
if I may.
Jerry,
And
R3.
All right, Jerry.
It was based on, when Eric was saying, well, a lot of people just want to keep their head down. They're not interested. Go away. I'm not interested. I don't want to hear it. And it's based on that. What if we're not the 99%? What if we're a small minority, those that have got our heads up? And our chins up and actually want to do something. And what if, to try and tackle all the cans of worms in the medical industry, the administration, the legal side of it, what if it's a can of worms, or the infrastructure is cracked all the way through? Forget it. What if the cities are built up around consumerism, and to try and change that is nigh impossible? Here's the solution. How's this a solution? That those of us that get it go off and do our own thing and televise the whole process. Genesis.
That's why we're here, Revolution Radio. 956.
In a new locality, we televise it, we document it, and we create a template for what needs.
Okay, we have 956. What's your name?
How's that sound?
My name is Laura, and yours?
I'm Rectify.
Rectify.
I'm the one that cuts people off in conversations so the roundtable can move.
Wrecked them, damn near killed them.
Yeah.
What's on your mind? What are things people do that piss you off, Laura?
I'm still figuring that out. What really bothers me is that I'm getting older.
That's a good one.
That's God's fault, darn it. You have to just shake your finger at the sky. That's God's fault.
It might be God's fault, but there should be something I could do about it.
And it's okay for the men to age, but it's so different for the women.
Well,
So
what
I
if
have
they get younger?
I have a theory. I have a theory about that. I think that the reason men age the manner that they do and seem to can keep sort of a regalness and remain attractive to a certain extent, like what do they call distinguished, etc. Right? They have these different
Silver
words
fox.
Some of them.
Well, it's strange. It's strange because whatever we want to name it, it does seem that men kind of keep. Some women will keep their sexiness as they get older, but most women you gain weight and you get older and you're kind of like a flower drying up. And I think it's because the women lose the eggs and then they're gone forever, but the man keeps his seed always until he dies.
We get distinguished as we get older for some reason. That's the term, right? We get more distinguished, the distinguished gentleman.
But I think it has to do with the fact that men have their seeds until they're dead. Women lose them and then they're gone forever after menopause.
They also have a lot more curves that gravity has to deal with.
Be nice. Be
Some men have
nice.
curves too, rectify.
Be nice.
Gentlemen, you're not being helpful here.
Oh man, we got about 4 minutes till the break, but everybody's welcome to stay.
At least if there's a reason. I was just trying to help. I know you said you're not being helpful and stuff. It's kind of haphazardly joking, but I figure at least there's a reason. At least there's something to go, well, maybe there's something about that. Because for me,
Go ahead, Laura.
Go ahead.
Physiological reason, yes. However,
I'm a science guy, so I just look at things as they are in my eyes, you know. I question everything, though.
do you think it's possibly a function of lifestyle?
Of course. Do you wear a bra?
Well, every once in a while.
There you go.
Oh my.
We could break this down into evolution, even.
Well, actually, speaking of science, it has been shown that women who wear a bra will actually have saggier situations when they get older than if they never wore one.
That's right. Every girlfriend I've ever had, I've always give the advice to not wear one.
I like that.
Yeah, bras are hazardous.
Keep it off in the bed.
I like how you termed them situations. That's a good one. I'm gonna keep.
Well, what am I
in mind.
supposed to say? I just got cut off earlier.
Slow down. Slow down.
Why are you going so fast, Jer?
Slow down.
He's talking to himself. He's like, slow down.
Oh, you guys slow down.
Oh, we're having a good time here at the Gray Zone.
That's
like
what it's
always.
all about. That's what it's all about, man.
That's it. Unwind, man. It's a Monday. That's bad enough. I hate Mondays, too. It's not people.
So you guys are all fairly youthful, I take it. Can I ask you your advice on how an older woman can at least present herself so as to seem more attractive?
Well, here's what I was.
That's for Rakeem. That's for Rakeem right there.
Here's what I would do. I would go down to the local 7-Eleven or bowling alley, and I would hang out with no underpants. You would be imagining how much to coach you. You know I would.
Hey. No, actually,
serious.
I'm
imitating.
I find older women very attractive. And to be honest, I'm 37, and I attract older women. Like the couple of females that I was involved with last have been in their 40s, a little bit older than me. So and I don't understand why I tend to attract the older female, but to me, I find them to be a lot more sexier. And to me, is how they present themselves. Because sex appeal, like I was talking to this with JB the other day. I think we were all off there. You were there, Rectify. That I said, sex appeal has nothing to do with beauty. Sex appeal has a lot to do with the way a woman carries herself. You can be mediocre looking, and have there's just something about you, your demeanor, your energy, your presence that's so sexy that I have a man interested, as opposed to a female who's beautiful and is blah in personality, if I may. Beauty has nothing to do with sex appeal. The one doesn't have anything to do with the other one. It's pretty much how you present yourself, how you carry yourself, how you feel about yourself. Because it's important that a female...
Hey, we'll get back to that, Joaquin. Hold on, caller. We'll be right back. This is the Gray Zone Radio at Revolution Radio.
And your host is Rectify.
It's not Rectify Nahizzy. We'll be right back. 3 minutes.
Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. We'll be right back after this message.
Who owns you? If you're not in control, then someone else is. Join me, Ivy West, for Voices on the Wind, Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern in Studio A. I discuss government, health, metaphysics, suppressed science, universal mysteries, little-known incredible facts, alternative energies, and even more than you can imagine. Won't you join us on Revolution Radio Saturdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern for Voices on the Wind with me, Ivy West.
There are lives in the balance, people under fire, children at the cannons.
Because if your head's in the sand, your tail is a target.
Hi everybody, it's me, The Fetch, host of Inside the Eye Live. Before the Sunday mainstream media political pundit talk shows, there is Inside the Eye Live, where we break down some of the weekly mainstream media talking points before the talking points even get aired. Add in some entertaining stories, weather, cats, intriguing and informative guests, and you get one of the most listened to Saturday morning streaming media political talk shows going today. And it's all right here on our flagship station, Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. So join me, The Fetch, for Inside the Eye Live every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern. It is truly intelligent media for the politically aware.
Gentlemen, this is a test. Moments such as these are matters of faith. To fail is to invite doubt into everything we believe, everything that we have fought for. Doubt will plunge this country back into chaos, and I will not let that happen. Gentlemen, I want this terrorist out, and I want him to understand what terror really means.
Are you aware of all the poisons you face today? From the fluoride in the drinking water to preservatives in the food you eat. Join Sally O'Cordy for Ban Vaccines 2013 as she and her guests inform you of all the toxins you're not aware of, like those in the syringe a doctor offers you as treatment. Mothers are so good about checking food labels for the ingredients in something they're going to fix for dinner. How much do you know about ingredients in the vaccine your child is about to get injected with? Remember, death starts at the end of a needle.
I have worked with the CIA, NSA, Templars, and Bilderbergers. Now I work for you. My show will disclose secrets of science and esoteric knowledge. Join me, Stephen D. Kelly, for 2 hours every Thursday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on freedomslips.com, Revolution Radio, Studio A. You can also listen to previous shows by going to youtube.com/Free Revolution Radio.
This is Jim Fetzer inviting you to call into Non-Random Thoughts on Revolution Radio Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll all begin with thoughts about the day's events and then invite callers about JFK, 9/11, Senator Paul Wellstone, Sandy Hook, the Boston bombing, Syria, NSA surveillance, Obama, McCain, you name it, I'll take it. This is a show for you to ask questions of me about some of the most complex and controversial issues of our day. I'm looking forward to it, and especially to hearing from you.
That's right here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, Studio B, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursdays. Be there, where information never sleeps.
Anti-aircraft gun pointed to action against unidentified aircraft in the Los Angeles area
shortly after 3 a.m. Pacific Wartime this morning.
We are far stronger than we were 10 weeks ago.
Zero quarters, all hands at your battle stations.
You're nervous, not your toes. I'll do the mastermind around here.
You who have not seen it do not know what hell looks like from the top.
Bam, check it out every Tuesday and Saturday on Revolution Radio. It's a double dose of the internationally recognized renegade military historian Douglas Dietrich.
You'll stay right where you are till I tell you to move out.
Yeah, that's right. Tuesdays from 10 to midnight Eastern Time. Join Douglas Dietrich as he exposes the truth in hidden history on his show Critical Omissions. And then our human weapon of mass destruction is back once again to take your calls on Saturday Night Firing Lines. Both from 10 to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Only on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com.
This is Thomas, a.k.a. a Mad Painter. I'd like you to join me Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Open Canvas. Don't forget to bring an open mind.
Yes, folks, that's right. Bring an open mind to an open canvas. Again, that is Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. UFOs to government corruption. This is Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here. Revolution Radio. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Rubber tubing, tire iron.
Welcome to the TheGrayZone Roundtable, Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. 100% supported radio. No corporate ties. Corporate duct tape dictating our freedom of speech. It shall remain that way as long as we are supported by you. Join us 347-688-2902. Enter the Gray Zone.
And we're back. Welcome back, everybody, of Revolution Radios.
Who do you have with you tonight, sir?
Yep. These are your hosts, Rectify, myself, Joaquin, and I just want to let everybody know out there and remind everybody that we are 100% listener supported here at Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. Yes, freedom does have a voice and does have lips, and we are those lips and we are that voice. Donations, you guys make it happen, so donations are very much needed from you guys. Anything helps. $1, $2, $3. Nighthawk has a great offer of over 34,000 non-GMO seeds, 56 over 50 different varieties of seeds in a seed pack, and also in the chat room with a $5 donation, you can actually get really cool icons, for your avatars for your chat name. And if you can't donate anything, you can actually join us and help us out just by calling in at 347-688-2902. So, yeah.
Can I add something to that?
Absolutely.
If you're in chat, and also if you check out the donation area, you can send a self-addressed envelope to Nighthawk's address up there, and he'll send you back some Revolution Radio cards to pass out to your friends and stuff. So that's another way of helping us out. Just get the word out where we're at and who we are and who all. And now this is Jer Bear. Who's your guest tonight? Rectify and Joaquin?
Well, that's a roundtable. We don't do guests but once a month, if you're lucky, everybody. But we had John now has joined us. John, how you doing, sir? And what are things that people do that piss you off?
Good evening, all, and as we're approaching New Year, a Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year, John.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Wonderful. I'm only 5 at 7 p.m. here, so I'm only 5 hours away from 2014. But being in Australia, we're just a little bit in the future. But what annoys me, look, I mean, I got a list a mile long, but the one thing that's aggravated me all my life is people with closed minds who have been programmed or into this dogma of believing everything the politicians tell us, everything the media, if it's on television, if you see it on the news, it must be real. They would never lie to us. And I continually bash my head up against the wall to try and get them to at least do some research for themselves. And sometimes you get a result, sometimes you don't. But that's what really pees me off the most. That
closed-mindedness.
the powers that be are programmed them so bad. Exactly, man.
I agree. I concur with that.
I think that pisses a lot of people off, closed-mindedness. I mean, you start bringing up subjects, you know, that the common man are not familiar with, and just because they're not familiar with them, they think you're full of crap. You know, and you know, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Most of the stuff that we do speak about is almost like unbelievable. You know, when you start mentioning aliens, UFOs, when you start mentioning stuff like, you know, how the government has us all under control and they're spraying us with chemicals in the air, it's unbelievable to the common man.
Yeah,
you know,
like
they're poisoning our foods, they're putting nano machines in water. Come on, they're gonna look at you like, oh, you've been watching too much TV. But in
how does
reality,
that make you feel, Joaquin, when it's most of the people that you're trying to teach is your family even, and they just shun you like you're crazy?
they still think I'm crazy, you know, and that's fine with me, you know. But again, you know, my family, you know, are very religious, and I find that to be crazy. So, you know, which two are the lesser evil, you know? So, you know,
do you still try? Do you still throw the wrench in there and try turning the bolts?
Well, no, not really, you know, because I feel I've done that already, and I think they all know where I stand. You know, so, you know, there's only so much you can say and do. So, you know, I kind of just leave them alone, and hopefully, you know, like I was talking to somebody about this, and I said, look, you know, we're all here for a purpose and on this plane and this lifetime at this moment. And if it's not your time to understand this in this lifetime, maybe next lifetime. That's the way I see it.
That's why I was. That's another thing that pisses me off. We were talking about we were going to do the whole Saturnalia show. But we got a little off track. But
yeah, sure did.
Yeah, but it was one day out of the year that people actually get together with family. I mean, I think that has a lot to do with it too. I mean, for people like me, a quote unquote truther, right? You just get sick and tired of trying to talk to the ones that are even the closest to you, and like that's kind of the same thing. People go in. They all get together, still call themselves a family, but they're only doing it this one frickin' day a year.
Well, that's because there's so many people this one day of the year who don't have family who instead put a gun in their mouth.
Well, that's always a factor, I suppose. Thanks, Eric.
You know what?
No, but he has a point, though. The holidays has, you know, it's really good at making people feel like crap.
Yeah, it's like this pressure on you. You got to buy stuff.
It really is. You got to buy stuff
and you're
going to
be
somewhere.
balanced and judged by what you buy compared to what everybody else bought and all this crap.
Like
to be
I
honest,
sat along and I was happy with it, actually. Like, the solace, it was good. I liked it. You know?
It's a wooden critter Christmas.
How so?
Okay, nobody knows what I mean, so that's okay.
No, please explain, because I'm
yeah, wooden critter.
No,
Got a vision.
it's a reference from South Park.
Would they? Okay.
There's a Christmas episode of South Park called Woodland Critter Christmas. Go to southparkstudios.com and look for the episode Woodland Critter Christmas and watch it, and it'll knock you over. It'll slay you. It's so funny.
South Park is a funny cartoon, but I've missed so many episodes.
South Park, it's been years. Yeah.
The guy from Australia mentioned what he was pissed off about. And one of the things he mentioned was among
his name's John.
So John, you mentioned in the ingredients of people's apathy that they believe everything that's on the news or anything that's spoon-fed to them from some level of commercial media. And I just wanted to read a Thomas Jefferson quote all the way back from 1816 that said, "The man who never looks into a newspaper is better informed than he who reads them, inasmuch as he who knows nothing is nearer to the truth than he whose mind is filled with falsehoods and errors. It is a melancholy truth that a suppression of the press could not more completely deprive the nation of its benefits than is done by its abandon, prostitution, or falsehood."
He will say.
Cheers to Jefferson.
Yeah, indeed.
I got a whole list of Jefferson quotes. Good stuff.
Pretty weird. It makes me wonder who the can I say the H word?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Who the hell were these guys? You know what I mean? They seem to be protected by the Great Spirit.
Actually, I don't know if you guys ever read the Thomas Jefferson Bible.
I have not
heard of it even.
Oh, interesting. What he did was actually took all the crap out of the New Testament, pretty much everything that made Jesus look divine, as far as like the miracles, which he kind of considered to be complete crap, and just left all his teachings, all what was morally right. It's actually a pretty interesting read. But that's neither here nor there. But
and that's
he was a very interesting individual, indeed.
That's basically, you're saying the miracles, like we talked about this before on the show. Back in the day, basically, it was either disease or some sort of hypnosis or something. That was
pretty much demon possessions.
Oh yeah, demon possessions. That's right.
Not so much miracles. Demon possessions. Yeah, demon
well, I know
possessions.
that Thomas Paine and Thomas Jefferson both wrote together about that they weren't big fans of the King James Bible, and one of the things they were quoted as saying was that any religion that has anything in it that would scare a child is not a religion of the God that is the creator of this universe.
Absolutely. Yep, you're 100% right. And what he put together was just pretty much just all the teachings of Jesus Christ, and left out all the crap that's considered to be unbelievable. Pretty much. You know, like walking on water, turning water into wine. He wasn't trying to hear none of that. He was like, oh, please. You know, all of his teachings, they were morally, you know, the construct of morality, he left them. So
I feel really bad. Laura from 956 area code, we lost you during the break, but we definitely want you to call back in. You were asking Joaquim, how does a cougar basically attract a younger tiger? And Joaquim was on the subject when we went to break, so I wanted him to at least, continue with that. But call back in. Our number here, 347-688-2902. Joaquim?
Yeah. Well, pretty much, like I was saying earlier. Absolutely. Being sexy, just sex appeal has nothing to do with beauty. That's pretty much a fact. I mean, I've seen women actually who are beautiful, and just their whole demeanor and being around them and their energy, it just doesn't do it. You understand that, not to take it there, but you can just look at a female who's beautiful and you can tell that they're going to be a little off in bed. Then you can look at a female. I don't want to take it there.
Basically, just have fun. Keep a positive attitude, right?
Yeah.
Well. Think about this. Think about this. Okay. Thoughts are things, and thoughts actually have a measurable resonance. it's extremely low. But thoughts have a measurable resonance. So if you're out there and you're putting yourself out there because you want to find someone to be with, whether it's sexually or emotionally or on some physical level or some spiritual level, but you're looking for someone in the physical world to be with, to share something with, but you're out there, and the thought in the back of your mind is that I'm not good enough, or I'm not sexy enough, or I don't have enough appeal physically or spiritually, or I'm not important, or I'm not special, or I'm, a piece of crap or something. If you're thinking negatively about yourself, you're putting that out there, and it affects your aura.
Gosh, you know what? You bring up a good subject though, because that's something that really bothers me. I think women take it too far. They're putting in the implants, and they're overdoing processing their hair and wearing uncomfortable shoes. No.
Let her roll. Let her roll. Let her roll.
That's something that really bothers me.
That pisses me off. Fake
that
breasts.
really.
Let her roll. Let her roll. Go ahead, Chippy.
Because my sister's had I shouldn't even bring her up, but anyway, she's had 2, implant jobs, and it's like her boobs are like the size of her head. It's ridiculous. And what has that gotten her? Nowhere, really.
The first one's capsulized, so they got hard, so she had to go get them done.
No, the first ones weren't big enough. And
oh wow!
I've had bad experiences with women with breast implants,
Botox, and all that
I
stuff.
guess that may be alluring to men, but it's just not real. I don't know. I think they're funny looking.
I love natural women. Period.
I agree. Natural is so much better, so much more superior.
Chippy, but it's not so much them being fake; it's that they're real self-conscious about them.
Yeah, they're just staring at the mirror all day, and instead of going out.
But not only that, when you get a woman in bed with implants, you really can't take it there. They're self-conscious about it.
I've never been in that position.
I understand that. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
You've never gotten a girl in bed with implants? Chip?
No. Oh my.
Mr. Bojangles.
The Howard Stern Show.
Hey, we're here to entertain. We don't always have to be talking doom.
I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen plenty.
One thing that the advantage of a man has, if he doesn't have a beard, when he ages, that if he shaves every day, it's always taking that old skin off, where women don't shave any facial hair or something, and that creates it has something to do with aging. When you shave every day or clean shaven, you're tended to have your skin as a male stay younger looking.
Well, when you age naturally, I think it's more beautiful, because when you sit there and you go that plastic surgery, I'm sorry, but you're really not fooling anyone. You can tell immediately.
I know, but I was going back to that question that what would you suggest that to make you look young? I was going back to
Eat healthy. Eat your fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Joaquin
and
said
you know what?
earlier,
Get plenty of sun. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're right. Get more sun.
I think
Joaquin said earlier. I lost it. Whatever. Brain fart.
It wasn't important enough. Happens to me all the time.
I think if you want to stay sexy at an old age, I think you need to get tips from Raquel Welch.
I just remember who was it called? Laura? Was it Laura? Sir Arthur?
Yeah, that was the caller, Laura. 956 area code.
Did you just call me Sir R3?
Not
I call him Rectify R3. Business.
You're Madame Chippy.
All right, Madame. No, wait a minute. That doesn't sound good. That doesn't sound really bad.
It don't matter.
Not a man. No, miss.
All right, what's pissing me off right now? I'm just kidding. Let's see
what
here.
don't piss you off?
I've got a burning sensation between my toes.
Get the cigarette out from under there. Anyways, yeah. What does? I've been a negative person all my life. I'm what they call a pessimist. So yeah, mostly everything is pretty much dark in my eyes. I see all the negative.
Pessimistic. You're a pessimistic.
Whatever. I'm sure there's a pill for that, but I'm not taking it.
Yeah, it's called Helamine. I took my Helamine today.
Right. Or that heavy metal.
Helamine,
God.
Chip, Chip,
Well,
is there
one of the things that happened to me was that I went into a trance and met with some tall white aliens, and then I saw them in the graveyard by my house. And as crazy as that sounds, that's all real and true. And one of the things that I was 2011.
Wow, go into this. This is good.
Oh, yeah, where do you live?
Can you rewind that? Because I really want to hear this. You said what?
Skin. Okay, well, in 2011, okay, I've been a negative person all my life as well, and I've always had a real hard time with it, and it's plagued my life in so many ways, and I've always wondered what the hell is going on and why. And in 2011, I had an experience where I was going to bed at night, and I thought I was going to die if I went to sleep. Now, I'm a cancer survivor, so, you know, I had been pretty sick, and I had gotten very physically sick. You know, my body was a bag of crap, you know. It just had become a bag of crap, and I'm in much better condition and shape now.
Did you do the chemo?
I did, but see, I didn't know back then the things I knew now. But anyway, so in 2011, it culminated to an experience where I was going to bed one night and I thought I was going to die, and I said to myself, you know, F it, if I'm gonna die, I'll die, you know, and it's a lot better than all this pain I'm going through. Well, I woke up the next day and I was a different person. I mean, I was just different. I had this big spiritual awakening, and somehow the third eye just woke up, and my head was in the clouds. Family and friends were worried about me because of how the extreme they saw me, but these were people who I couldn't even convince about 9/11 when 9/11 happened. So how am I going to convince them that I'm seeing auras and have spirits talking to me and all kinds of things are going on, right? So I went into this trance during meditation listening to the Vedas. I wouldn't have known about the Vedas except I got into the Disclosure Project, and what's his name started talking about the Vedas. You know the Disclosure Project guy. What's his name?
Stephen Greer. Stephen Greer.
Yeah, Greer. Stephen Greer. So he mentions the Vedas and talking about what the Vedas are about, and I really was like, wow, okay, I want to know more about that. So anyway, I start looking at the Vedas, and I found all this stuff that really sucked, and then I found some stuff that didn't suck, that had really strong soul power, I could tell. So I'm meditating, listening to this stuff, and I went into a trance in front of a friend. So I did have a witness to my trance. But he only heard me talking. He kept thinking I was talking to him until he got up and saw that I was laying there with my eyes closed or sitting in the chair.
You say trance, you mean like your eyes rolled back into your head and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I was in a complete trance, and I went to a place where there was all these tall white men and a very few women, and
Sausage Festival.
They were sitting around. Yeah, right. They were sitting around a half moon table. A large half-moon table. The guy in the middle was sitting higher than the rest, and a couple of them had facial hair. Guy in the middle had some facial hair.
Would you call them Pleiadians, I guess?
No, I thought they were Arcturians.
Or Nordics.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
Archons.
Nordics.
What do they look like exactly now? Describe them, Eric, please.
Tall, white, slender, muscular, not muscular like Schwarzenegger muscular, but with tone. But not that.
But they looked human? They looked human?
Yeah, they were human. They looked human.
Was their hair white?
No, their hair was mostly dark. But there were a few different... There was blonde, and there were some with white hair.
Was there women? Was there women there?
There was a few women, not many.
And other ones? Would you describe... Excuse me. Would you describe them as taller than us, like 7 foot?
Yeah, that's why I called them tall whites. Yeah, much taller than us. And they didn't talk to me. It was mind to mind. They had mouths, and they were having a conversation, talking to each other. And I could hear them, and they could hear me. And they were some of the people around the table. And there was a long corridor with a bunch of people, these tall white people, in this other room, down this long corridor. And some of them were coming in and out of the room I was in with the half-moon table. And a couple of them were just looking at me like it was just another day. But they recognized me. But some of them were really smiling and happy, and they were like, oh, look who made it. Look who's here.
Well, this is all a dream, right?
Like they were expecting me. No, I went into it. This is a meditative trance, listening to the Vedas. And this is the first time I saw them. Anyway, we had a conversation about my life. It wasn't profound things about the universe. It was about, well, it is profound. It is about the universe because we're all part of the same stardust. So, but mainly it was like stuff about my life, and but I kept getting cut off. Like I could hear them, and then I would stop hearing them. And I remember at one time I stood up, and I said to the guy, I said, I don't want to leave yet. I'm not ready to leave yet. And he said, well, then he gave me this real somber look. Not somber, because it wasn't sad. It was, I don't know how to describe the look, but he looked at me a certain way and just said, like, don't. Well, then don't, you know, like why would you make the kind of, I don't know, hard to describe the look on his face, but he said not to just make, like, sort of like make the decision not to. So I sat down, and that lasted about 15 more seconds, and then I zapped out of it. When I came out of it, my friend was telling me all these things I was saying, and unfortunately I didn't write any of it down. That was pretty stupid. And so then, like about, I don't know, like a week or 10 days later or something like that, I was riding past the graveyard where I live, and it was like 7 or 8 o'clock, and it was nighttime, it was dark, and I passed the corner where this little dirt hill goes up into the rural cemetery, and I rode around, and there's nobody anywhere. It's quiet at night in this spot. There's no people. The businesses are all closed. And I heard, help, right? So I turned my bike around, and I looked up the hill, and there was one of the tall whites standing in the graveyard. So I left my bike in the middle of the road, ran up the hill, and he was looking at me with this beautiful smile. I can't describe this wonderful smile. I've tried to
But
imitate.
seductive? Was it a seductive smile?
No, it was loving. It was
like, oh, my son.
something like that, to that effect, or just like, yeah, like you could say like that. That's a amiable description that gets close. But anyway, I've tried to imitate it on my face and smile like that, and I just can't do it. But I got up there, and when I got to where he was, he disappeared. He blinked out. And so I looked up in the sky. I'm looking for like a craft or something, and I didn't see a craft, but I started getting all these messages. And one of the most important messages that I received was an understanding that part of what I've been doing on this planet all this time is turning negative energy into light energy. And that is
whatever you just did, you're buzzing really bad.
Okay, how is this better?
Yeah, it's better, but it's still there.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what to do. This headset's, I think it could be a faulty headset. I don't know.
You doing USB? USB, that's it.
Yeah, it's a USB. Is that bad?
Try a different port.
I did already. I've done that already.
All right.
I almost slipped there. Huh?
Yeah, I almost pulled an Eric.
Right.
Or Jer Bear.
So anyway, long story endless. There were many messages I received, but in relation to what someone on here was saying, I think it was you who just spoke. I'm getting to know all of you still, so I'm sorry if I don't know your names.
I'm Rectify. Nice to meet you, Eric.
Thank you, Rectify. And you were the guy who said you've been negative all your life, right? Or had a negative experience. So my negative experience, starts when I'm 3 years old when my mother commits suicide. So,
jeez.
Imagine,
sorry, brother.
Yeah, you can imagine everything come after that, right? So, receiving this message about transmuting dark energy into light energy in this world was pretty important, and so I thought I would I would say something about it, and there you go. I don't know if it helps.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you were visited. You think it had anything to do with your mother or just random visitation?
I'll tell you the truth, I haven't had another one since. I've only had the two. I have seen UFOs. I see not big craft. I see the silver and gold balls. That's what I see. I see them more and more when my vibration gets higher and higher.
Now, are they always traveling in packs? Because that's how I see them. They're always in packs.
Can I ask you a question? Well, how long ago was the incident with the Archon at the gravesite?
2011.
Oh, okay, yeah.
2011.
You said that. Sorry.
So, yeah, they travel in groups then for you, too, when you see them.
The balls of light, I've seen them. Okay, the first two times, well, no, that's not the first. Every time I've seen them, it's either been one craft or two craft, and that's it. I haven't seen them in a group. I've seen those videos online. I've
been wanting and desiring to see that, but all I've seen is either 2 or 1. And 2 of the times I saw them was they pulled up. It was a very large craft in the sky, big gold ball. It pulled up to the moon and stopped, and then it just hung there and sat there. And I watched it for like 3 hours, and it didn't move. And so whatever it was doing had to do with the moon. And the second time I saw that same thing happen, I was lucky enough to have a very close friend of the family that I basically call family showed up at my house for a short visit, and I'm all look, and she saw it. So now I'm not crazy. Okay, I've got someone else who's seen it too. So.
I think you brought up a good point when you said that that usually when you're on a different vibrational, not on a high, when you're oscillating on a high frequency, you tend to see them. A lot of people don't understand that's the case. This is why a lot of people don't see them. When you're either meditating a lot or you're at a certain level consciously, is when they tend to show themselves, and that's very key. And a lot of people don't understand that. Unless they want to manifest themselves to you, usually the times that I've seen them, that's been the case, either coming out of meditation or I'm in a mental state where it's you can say it's blissful. So that's very key to actually them manifesting themselves to you or you seeing them.
I think it's like the same with ghosts. Some people can see them and some people just can't, Like cats, exactly. They seem to be able to get in touch with that realm. They're in a different realm altogether.
I had an incident one time. I'm leaving Las Vegas, me and my girlfriend, and we're going to up 95 to Reno, but we didn't go quite to Reno. We're going to go cut off and go to Sacramento, which I had a family reunion.
You're not missing anything, Jer.
Well, we left. Let me finish, please. We left in the middle of the night. I always like to cruise at night, and I was in my Tonka. So anyway, we drove up to 4 hours is Tonopah, halfway to Reno. But just before Tonopah is a place called Goldfield. Okay, and I've been stuck there before. I almost ran out of gas a few years back. But it's a little tiny town, okay? Very tiny, little called Goldfield. We went through there, and when you come back out, it kind of lights up and the sky's lit. And we're going north. We went through the town, and it got real dark. Like I remember that it was like a little canyon area. So I said, man, I think I'm going the wrong way, and it was just pitch black. So I turned around and I went back in town, and I'm looking for someone to talk to, and the sheriff. Was like right there off the side, talking to this kid on a little bicycle, probably about 8-10-year-old kid. And they're talking. I said, "Hey, Mister, is that the way back to Tonopah?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh, okay, thank you." So I winged back around, and I'm going back out the same way. And my girlfriend, she was smoking, and I always bring a can with some sand in it to put the butts in it, and she had that habit of tossing them friggin' cigarettes out with them lit. Anyway, I said, Donna, be cool, man. She was like aggravating me. I'm trying to drive and go another 40 miles to get to Tonopah. We're going to crash. And I said, she's smoking away, and all of a sudden she tosses that smoke out. And I see it trail out behind me, right? I said, God, I bitched. I said, I told you don't be throwing stuff out. You might start a fire. You don't know what the shit you do.
You had a female dog, and now you just...
No, it was my girlfriend.
I know. You got to be careful now.
I just said. Okay, but anyway, all of a sudden when she did that, I'm looking in my rearview mirror, and it just seems like something just dropped like 40, 50 feet behind me from the air. It looked like a cop car, but it had different lights on it. And I just went, this is too much. And I said, look what you just did. You brought him down here. Because Tonopah, School 4 was right over the hill. And I just said, she looked back and she goes, I don't see anything, Jer. And I said, don't do it again. And it just kind of like split. I didn't know if it was that sheriff that had some gizmos on his vehicle that was like came up and followed us with his lights off and then all of a sudden appeared? I don't know.
It was the littering demon.
It was something though, but there you go. That was one instance I had. That was trippy. Go ahead, over.
There's a story about a ghost dog down in Huntington Beach where my uncles grew up. They used to talk to me about it. Multiple uncles, not just one. They'd actually go and grab beers and pull up to this intersection and sit there and drink and watch this dog show up, which was like a hologram. It was translucent, but it would sit there and it would wander back and forth. And the story had it that the dog got nailed by a car and was killed there, and it was the remnants of that dog's spirit that would persist on. And they said it persisted for years, but then one day or one night they went to go look at it, and it didn't show back up ever again.
You know, it's rare when you get incidents that involve animals that manifest themselves in another dimension.
I love my cat, dude.
It's not often you get that because it's said that animals don't have souls and or spirits.
I don't believe that.
I know, neither do I, but this is what's said, you know.
No, I know.
I think they do. I think they do have something bad because they're just too special.
But it's just rare.
Well, here's something. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry. Okay. Does everybody here know about the Taurus?
The bull?
No, the donut that Earth has a magnetic field. The sun has a magnetic field. Those magnetic fields are similar to each other in the way that they look and the way that they operate. And human beings have this same magnetic field, and it's in the shape of a donut.
A toroid.
Yeah, and it's also called a Taurus.
Nice.
And
is it kind of similar to the magnetic sphere, like the birds kind of their flight path?
Basically, what I'm without trying to get all technical, what I'm trying to get to is that every being, even the insects have this magnetic field around them. Okay, so everything is alive, everything is connected, and everything that is surfing the wave of this dimension is organized in a manner for the purpose of existence. And so to say that an animal doesn't have a soul, or that even the insects are just some, they're just some empty program with no purpose. Everything has purpose. Everything has meaning. Everything's here for a reason.
Even rocks.
Do you guys kill spiders?
I don't anymore. If it's like a black widow or a really big nasty bastard, man, I might go after him to catch him. And then if I can't catch him and he's getting away, man, I might smash him. But I try not to. I really try not to.
Yeah, I've been into catch and release recently also. Trying to be better at it, but I can't stand it.
Me too, but I had one of those bad ones bite me. I said, you know what? I'm going to mess you up. You think you got me? I told him I put some psych on that spider that kind of it gave me like a little
mosquito. Out for revenge on the
I can see Jebber talking to a spider.
It gave me like a mosquito bite. It gave me a mosquito bite. I said, you know what? What I got in me is going to mess you up more than what you gave me, sucker wolf.
At least eat it. If you're gonna kill it, you should eat it. That's something of
Rectify. How long have you been into the catch and release? Like, since when?
Oh, a few years now.
A few years. That's a good sign. That means you're actually spiritually evolving. When you start looking at animals the way you look at human beings and the way you look at yourself, it's a sign of spiritual evolution.
I don't even kill mold, man, and that's what my girlfriend calls clean the damn bathroom.
I gotta do that, dude. I gotta do that. I can't let that go, man. That's for good. I'm hot. That's East Coast.
Yeah.
You don't have to kill. You can just flush away.
Life is precious. Life in the 3D is precious, and it's a temporary thing. So we gotta, appreciate every part of it.
Absolutely. Well said.
Yeah, guys, I'm back. Life is for living. Be thankful that you get to experience this. not all souls or entities do. Pretty special zoo we live in.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about spiders and animals, I feel the same even about my trees. I'm in an orchard, I've got pear trees that are nearly 100 years old.
That's true.
And man, you give them a hug, or I get out in the trees, man, I can feel the energy pour off them into me. And
We got to get your
that,
Skype
man,
fixed
and I
there,
get a crop
John.
every year, beautiful fruit. What you tend to put out to the universe, you tend to get back. Man, I wish we could. I'm in a known black spot. The only company that gives me...
You're on old copper, in other words. Old copper DSL line.
And this goes to myself, and the tower is about half a kilometre away. I just went out just before Christmas. They released a new high-tech aerial, which is it's an internal one.
So you're on
but
a wireless
it's very, very heavy.
setup. Okay.
I'm on a wireless, yeah. And I've got, and it's very much like a Tesla coil in some ways. It's coils.
Check this
from
out. Let me
large
give you
to
some
small.
advice. Create
do man.
Yeah, do a parabolic antenna. Take a piece of cardboard, shape it around a coffee can. Take some aluminum foil, wrap it around that. Shiny side out. Props out to that show, David Mecke. Wrap it and make it real smooth. Use like a marker or something to smooth it out real smooth, and have it in a parabolic shape. And put put two little slits in it, and throw your antenna through those two slits right in the middle of the damn thing, and you'll be surprised.
So it's like a barrel. It's like a can without the lids on the ends.
It's a concentrator. It concentrates the signal.
Yeah, but I'm saying that you foil this inside of it, and you put and then you drop it inside the Wi-Fi.
No. You just create the parabolic antenna. It's just okay. We'll talk about, let's say, 3 inches wide by 6 inches long, right? Piece of cardboard.
Yep.
Wrap it up with aluminum foil, and then bend it so it creates a parabola. Okay, and you put 2 slits in the middle of it so you can slip the antenna through those 2 slits.
What's a parabola?
It's a shape. It's a geometric shape.
Which
it's like your typical satellite dish.
So it's kind of like it looks like a geodesic dome, but a whole ball.
Yeah,
cool,
but it's just the middle part of it, and it's kind of wide. I mean, it's whatever, but it works. I mean, I used to feed my best friend who lived probably half a mile away from me with that setup off the second router. I'd send it to his wireless router, and it would pick up my signal.
I remember
retransmit.
It makes a great Wi-Fi enhancer as well.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
I remember telling Zach that trick. One Zach we picked up he was filming out of his garage. We never did pick him back up, but I do remember you saying that about a year ago, Rectify. So, good points.
R3, question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I've got.
Go ahead.
I think
can't hear you, John. We can't hear you, John.
See, that's what I'm talking about. People out there listening, always go with the hardwired line if you can. Don't buy into any, 3 or 4G or 3G networks or wireless BS. Stick with a good coax, a cable company if possible.
But what if you don't have that opportunity or that you have to deal with?
Then you go DSL, and if you don't have that, then you have to go satellite, which is
what
horrible.
Is the definition I need this. What is the definition of DSL?
Digital subscriber line or D-sucking lips.
And what word did I say? What word did I say that was profound?
The S word.
Oh, poop.
No. There was 2. There was the S word and another one. Oh, the B word, the female dog. Oh, by the way, for those
female dog in heat.
For the semi-initiated, I've heard a lot of people referring to men and women as males and females. Male and male are dogs, or not just dogs, but animals. It's only masculine, feminine, man, and woman created in God's image, allegedly. But when we refer to male and female, that's a connotation of an animal, and we goyim, are animals because we don't have a God, right?
So.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. Just
You
like
can't say that. You can't say
well, it's not true that we Goyim don't have a god.
I'm an infidel. I'm not a Goyim. Get it straight.
I'm a Goyadel. I'm a Shkuyadel. That's a pastry, by the way.
Hexa.
I taste good. Anyway, no. Come on down to Yup. No, a special wonton for you.
Why you all, Mom?
So, this parabola thing, it looks like it's a cone.
Yeah, it pretty much is, kind of. Well, I don't know. Think satellite dish, but just take a strip out of the middle of a satellite dish out of it.
Oh, so it's a half of a satellite dish then?
The middle, yeah.
The middle of the satellite dish.
Right, and you shape it like that with foil and some cardboard. And you slip it around your Wi-Fi antenna.
That doesn't cost any money. I'm going to do that one.
Oh, it'll work. Just aim. You'll see probably 20 new hotspots show up on your list even.
You guys want to hear something really interesting?
Of course.
Okay, we were on the phone earlier with a gentleman by the name of Billy Hayes. Some of you may know who Billy Hayes. Yeah, I've only come into contact with Billy thanks to Jer Bear recently. Making friends with Billy is an interesting factor. I think Billy's awesome. But he was telling me today how you can take your webcam and pull the housing off of it, and every webcam comes equipped with infrared, an infrared ability.
Yeah, they put a lens over it to block that ability.
Right, to make it into a quote-unquote normal camera.
Right.
So if you just go in there and pull that little square piece of glass out, you now have an infrared camera. You can go point it at the sky at night and get that cool effect that...
Find Planet X.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, and he said something about attaching it to a telescope.
Listen, now Hercolobus is the new one. It's not Planet X anymore. They got a new one out.
Oh, yeah? What's it called?
Hercolobus.
That's
Hercolobus. Yeah, it sounds sexual.
Hercolobus. Colon bliss?
Hey, man, you're the second one that said rectal drive or something like that after Douglas Dietrich. Wasn't cool.
No, I think I said rectum damn near killed him, but...
Douglas called you reclamation.
He's called me all kinds of stuff. Last time I was on the show, I was R3 Citify.
Doug's a funny guy, man. He's
chill. I'd like to meet him, have a beer.
He's got an interesting attitude. I'm lucky enough to have met him. I got to meet him at the UFO con.
Sweet.
I met him too, and I tripped out when I saw him, how he looked, man. All black, 9-inch heel boots.
9-inch heel boots? So he's coming in there like the band Kiss?
He had some heels on those biker boots. I'm telling you, they were thick. Made him about my height, 6 foot, but I guess he's only about 5'8". I don't know. But yeah, real slender, long black hair, all black. I didn't even look like his voice to me. I met him
nobody does though. Whenever I meet someone from the radio, I mean that's why we do radio. We can masquerade our faces. They never line up. It's like when you're on a 1-900 number. Not that I ever have been on one, but the lady on the other side sounds really sexy, but she's usually 300 plus heifer.
Yeah, she's stirring up the macaroni and cheese with the hair curlers in her hair. She's wearing some cheap, dirty pink robe. She's got half a slipper. She's got
cigarette ashes dropping in.
She's pouring water into a sink, going, "Ooh, here it comes, 976p."
Peg Bundy, baby, Peg Bundy, come here now.
On the reals, though, when I was a minor, I had a friend that was into credit card fraud. We were minors, but he would take receipts from his favorite restaurant with credit card numbers on them and then order off of them high-tech catalogs that sell electronics and all that. Crutchfield, I think it was called. And we ordered a voice changer, and I was the electronics, pro. So we'd go into construction zones where they'd be building housing tracts. And we'd they'd always lay down a payphone, an entire booth for all the construction workers, way before cell phones. We took this voice changer phone we got and some alligator clips and a little ingenuity, and we'd call 1-900 numbers. From the freaking payphone, we tap in and call 900 numbers, and
Nice.
yeah, we pretend we were adults because we were prepubescent. We didn't have that deep voice yet or anything, but we had fun with that. And,
Well, I'm 43 years old, and when I was like 10 or 11 is when I first discovered what to do with what I got. You know what I mean? And so. Masturbation. I discovered masturbation.
Oh, okay.
It's like I was 10 or 11.
Okay.
And what really I was going to mention the 976 thing, but one of the things I found funny was that it didn't seem that odd to me. It seemed like, wow, I bet everybody's doing this. And you have your group of friends when you're growing up. And they all wanted to pretend like that made you gay, or ew, you're gross, and I was just like, I remember looking at them going, don't tell me you're not doing it, I mean, I got beaten on for insinuating that all of them were also doing that,
If we want to go there, the first time that happened to me, it was like the best roller coaster ride in the world. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, well, what just happened?
Yeah.
What just happened? Like, did I just discover a secret,
Right. Now, don't abuse it, child.
Do other people know about this? Yeah, it's pretty interesting when you first discover that, as a youth.
We are sexual beings. I mean, it's the only way we procreate and create more of us. So.
I actually, that symbol Ankh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the loop is actually symbolic of...
That's ANK for all the listeners, if you want to look it up.
Right, Ankh, A-N-K. The loop at the top of the Ankh is supposed to be the womb of the universe. Supposedly, the reason why we are what we are is that we're copies of the universe in some weird fractal way. But supposedly, that same thing that's happening on our Earth with our bodies is somehow allegedly happening in the universe. That there's some sort of golden copulation or something that occurred to create all this and continues to occur to create more and more.
And look at the Indians, the Kama Sutra and the tantric sex and all that stuff. There's got to be something to it.
Well, actually, when it comes to tantric sex, the reason why they practice that is because they realized when you prolong during an orgasm, the conscious and the subconscious actually become one. You become more clairvoyant, actually more psychic, so they actually practice that.
So you're tapping in when you go that route.
Absolutely. That was the reason behind all that.
I didn't realize that, but that makes perfect sense. I never thought about it that way. That makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And wow. This was actually an experiment that they actually practiced in Montauk, the Montauk Project. They found that out also, and they actually try to prolong orgasms so that way the person who was sitting on the chair, who was creating a vortex or a wormhole or a vortex, they would actually need that. They would have to go into that because of that. It's interesting.
Hold your thoughts, gentlemen. Hold your thoughts. Ladies, call in. We need some help on this one.
That's the end of the show, Jer. We appreciate all the listeners, and visit freedomslips.com. Throw us a bone or two. We can, that's the only way we're going to breathe. So $1 or $2. You can do
Juice,
it.
let us go another hour. Juice.
I want to thank Chippy, Eric, Jer Bear, and my co-host, Joaquin.
Good night, y'all.
Have a good night, man. We'll see you all next week.
You're listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.
These guys are hammers, and to hammers everything looks like nails.
I heard that.
You were meant to. So you see something that's important, you call it out, we'll make it happen.
Okay. Mother Nature is a serial killer. No one's better, more creative. Like all serial killers, she can't help the urge to want to get caught. And what good are all those brilliant crimes if no one takes the credit? So she leaves crumbs. Now the hard part is seeing the crumbs for the clues they are. Sometimes the thing you thought was the most brutal aspect turns out to be the chink in its armor, and she loves disguising her weaknesses as strengths.
If you can fight, fight.
Hello? Is there anyone out there hearing this?
Help each other.